I'm Linda Elsegood, founder of the LDN Research Trust. It has been my honour to interview LDN researchers, prescribers, pharmacists and patients from around the world for many conditions. Thank you for joining us.
I'd like to introduce Annalie from South Africa. Annalie's husband takes LDN for CIDP. Thank you for joining us, Annalie.
It's a pleasure.
Could you tell us when your husband first started to get sick?
I think it was 2011. He's a diabetic, and he noticed that he was getting very weak. And the doctors that he saw, because we've got the GP and we've got the specialist physician, they all just put it down to being a diabetic, the fact that he was getting weaker. And he said, no, it's more than that. So he went to a neurologist, and the neurologist diagnosed the CIDP and then recommended treatment. We had to go to a different neurologist because of our medical aid. He started treatment. It was 2011, 2012, early 2012, I think, that he started with the treatment. It was, and he couldn't take cortisone for it, which is the normal treatment, because he's a diabetic. So they had to do I think it was a plasma treatment of sorts. It's a medication that they got from Germany. And then after about, the treatment was for 2.5 years. And the last 6 months, they couldn't get the medication from Germany anymore. So they had to use local stuff, which was either Polygam or Oxygan or something, I'm not sure. But we noticed a decline in his health once he started taking the local stuff. And the neurologist said, well, he's got no other kind of treatment that he could recommend. And that's when I heard about LDN from a friend. And I looked into it and researched it and convinced him to take it. And he started using it about 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And he hasn't gotten any worse, because we just went back to the neurologist, and we haven't been to him for 2 years. And in that time, the neurologist had actually, when he spoke to him on the phone, the neurologist thought that he would be wheelchair bound, and he's not. So he did all the induction tests, the nerve induction tests and muscle tests and things on him, and there's been no degeneration since he's been taking the LDN.
Wow, that is amazing, isn't it? That really is amazing, especially since he thought he was going to be in a wheelchair.
Well, he was very surprised to find that he wasn't. The neurologist was very much against him taking the LDN, so was the specialist. They thought it was rubbish stuff to take and didn't recommend it at all. And so we found a doctor in Pretoria that could help us, and he prescribed it for us. And he started taking it, and we haven't seen any degeneration. He has good days and bad days, as with most of these kind of illnesses have, these autoimmune diseases. So there are days that he feels a bit weaker than other days, but for the most part, he's actually fine. We do body stress release as well, which has helped him as well. So I think the combination between the two, he's stabilized. So we're happy with that.
When he first started, did he notice any introductory side effects?
Yes. Initially, when he was taking the drops, he felt like a nausea, but it was short-lived. And then he also experienced an itchiness, like in his arms and stuff. Then he would be itchy for like half an hour after having taken the LDN. What has continued throughout since he's taken the LDN is that he has very vivid dreams. he's very loud. He has very vivid dreams. He's very loud. He's vocal when he's sleeping. But it usually happens sort of like early morning hours. But yeah, that's the only real side effects that he's had from LDN.
Mm-hmm.
And his diabetic doctor has been very happy with his progress regarding him taking the LDN as well. So we're quite happy.
I was going to ask that. Is he a type 1 or type 2 diabetic?
Sorry?
Is he a type 1 or type 2 diabetic? Does he have insulin?
Yes, he has insulin, but it's a type 2.
Mm-hmm.
But he only takes it once in the morning, once in the evening.
Right. And have his sugar levels improved since being on LDN?
Put it this way. That's hard. I don't know. It's hard to judge. He was stuck in the USA for 6 months, end of last year, and had to decrease his insulin intake because I couldn't send him any, and he couldn't get any on that side without paying a fortune.
Mm-hmm.
So he decreased his insulin to try and make it stretch until he got back to South Africa. And I think that having had the LDN in hand kind of helped him.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he'd lost a lot of weight and he had some health issues when he got back, but he's back on track now. So I honestly think that with the LDN, he wouldn't have made it. Without the LDN. I mean, if he hadn't been taking it.
Yes, I understand.
It would have been, it probably would have been disastrous for him. Because he had to decrease his insulin units just to be able to stretch it so that he could get back here.
Oh, it must have been very concerning for both of you.
Indeed,
very stressful. Very stressful.
Yes, it was a stressful time. But yeah, that's part of why we went through all these tests now recently, because he had been away for so long and couldn't get his insulin and stuff like that. But when he came back, his health had declined a little bit because of the stress levels and everything else. But with all the tests that were done, nothing was found untoward. I mean, all the doctors said he was fine health-wise. He just needed to put on a bit of extra weight and start taking his normal insulin units.
Mm-hmm.
And since he's been doing that, he's gained back his weight and he's doing fine. I mean, it was last week that we went for the nerve induction test with the neurologist, and it was fine. It was perfect.
Well, that's amazing. And thank you very much for sharing your husband's story with us. I really do appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Do you have LDN experience to share? If so, please email me, linda@ldnrt.org. I look forward to hearing from you.